Hello guys, welcome back. I'm Eloise. So tonight we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be unboxing a fragrance that I just received from Selfridges, a blind buy. I ordered the 2024 re-release of Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Absolue Pour Le Soir. So Selfridges sent this in this cute little canvas pouch, and here's the fragrance. So I never tried the original 2010 Absolue Pour Le Soir. So my impression of this fragrance is certainly not going to take into account what the comparisons are between this and the original one from 2010. I did hear a lot of reviews on that fragrance, and I was a little hesitant because it was always described as having animalic notes and maybe being a little off-putting. And I also always heard that this fragrance was MFK's perhaps most difficult fragrance to wear for those people that are turned off by animalic notes and fragrances. So I have no idea what the original smells like at all. I own a few other MFK fragrances. I was on an MFK kick years ago, and I ended up ordering A La Rose, which I ultimately sold. And then I got Baccarat Rouge 540, which everyone loved, and that was super hyped. And then I added Oud Satin Mood to my collection. And then most recently, even though I was on the fence, I did end up getting Grand Soir, and I'm kind of liking it. That lavender note in there was turning me off, but I ended up loving it, and I added a full bottle to my collection. So tonight we are going to unbox this, and we are going to talk about my first impression of this fragrance that I know very, very little about. I did read on Fragrantica the notes of the 2010 fragrance, and the notes included white honey, benzoin, incense, sandalwood, ylang ylang, atlas cedar, rose, cumin. So I don't know if there's a reformulation, but I did read the feedback on this 2024 re-release on Fragrantica, and the reviews were totally mixed. So it was really difficult to tell what this would be like. So let's open this. Their boxes are just so simple, and I like the little cube shape of their fragrance bottles, and the cap is so cute and heavy. Ooh. The juice is ambery and beautiful looking. Okay, let's spray. Okay, this is interesting. It's nice. So at first blast, those first couple of sprays as it projected, I get like a dense raw honey, like not a processed honey, a honey that's not overly sweet, but that's definitely like dense and gooey and sticky. There's a very, very slight tinge of like an animalic note, like Francesca Bianchi's animalic note in Under My Skin, but diluted 15 times, let's say. Not an animalic note that overtakes the fragrance. And then I'm getting like a sweetened, almost like a watery rose, but in the background. It's a little ambery, but it's not dark, it's not smoky. Am I getting incense? I mean, there might be some incense in the distant background here. With these first couple of sprays, I'm not sure, I would have to wear the fragrance obviously, but it's not coming off like a strong, like Baccarat Rouge 540, like hugely projecting fragrance. I like that the honey plays a big role here. I love honey in fragrances. It's not sticky and overly sweet though. It's very, very natural. It's very earthy. It's like an earthy honey, because I think there's like an interplay between the honey and then there's a little bit of rose in the background, slightly floral. So you have this interplay between the honey and this slight animalic note that I'm not used to smelling in MFK fragrances. This is definitely a different fragrance in their collection. Yeah, so this fragrance comes off like raw, Like everything about it is raw. It's ambery. It seems like the honey is very raw. The animalic note kind of like cuts through that like denseness of the honey. But it doesn't seem like a heavy fragrance. I'm not sure how long lasting this is or if it's a hugely projecting fragrance. I'm getting the feeling that it's not, but we'll have to see as I wear it. On first impression, what do I think? I think I expected something a little deeper and darker, and it's a little brighter and a little lighter in wear than what I was expecting. I was expecting something really bold, deep and dark, especially when you hear that it's a difficult animalic fragrance for a lot of people to wear. I thought it was going to be like super bold and super in your face and maybe more animalic. So I'm glad that it's not as animalic as I expected. I wish it was a little more smoky and dark. I think it does what Grand Soir does. Grand Soir is an amber fragrance that keeps a lightness to it. It's got the lavender in there, and it's sort of a lighter, fresher take on amber. I feel like this one is sort of in the same realm. It seems like a light-wearing, ambery fragrance that is predominantly about honey with some animalic notes that sort of matches the rawness of the honey. So I think the fragrance is meant to feel natural and raw. Yeah, so I feel like I want to classify this as like a honey dominant fragrance. At least that's how it's reading on my skin. But I will be wearing this. I'm gonna have to see how it plays out, see how it performs, see how it smells after it dries down after a few hours. I would have to wear this repeatedly for a full day to judge the performance and the projection. But as it stands right now as a first impression, it seems like a very light fragrance. Yeah, it's not as bold and deep and dark as I expected, but it's nonetheless kind of cozy because I think the raw honey is a cozy note in a fragrance. So that is my first impression of Maison Francis Kurkdjian's 2024 release of Absolue Pour Le Soir. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please let me know your thoughts on Absolue Pour Le Soir. If you've tried the original, if you tried the 2024 new release, you can leave comments below. As always, thank you for your support, your comments, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.